Hey guys, I just wanted to show you something I'm doing for my backyard. I always get lots of water in my backyard. I think I showed a video last year of all the water I got when the snow was melting. I've got a big gasoline powered 2-inch pump. Well, it's not big, but I mean it's too big for what I need. So today I went down to Princess Auto. They're the ones who carry this Power Fist line. And I bought this little 1-inch pump. Like it's a 1-inch hose ID. And I haven't tried it out yet. I have to go get some oil for it. Apparently it takes 1540, which is usually what you use in a diesel engine. But you can use them in small engines too, especially in applications where it gets kind of hot. Um, there's a lot of misconceptions about these pumps. They always say that they're self-priming and this and that, and all you have to do is fill a pump casing with water to get them to start pumping. These are centrifugal pumps. They cannot pump air, so they have difficulty in priming themselves. And what you have to do is you got to fill your suction line from the bottom to the casing, like right to the top here, pretty much with water. And I'm a volunteer firefighter, and one of the fire departments I used to belong to when I was still living with my parents when I was a teenager, we had these great pumps called a Mark III, and they had a high performance motor, and you could pump water for a mile through 1.5-inch hose with them. And anyway, I used to be the guy that would teach a lot of the other guys on how to use them, because a lot of guys had all these ideas on how they think they should run. And so what we had on them, and they tell you this right from the factory, and that was on your suction line. See, I just prepared a 10-foot piece of suction hose right here. I put cam lock fittings on it so it's quick release. And what I'm going to have on it is a check valve. I have it here somewhere. Here's my check valve. You put this on the end, and it doesn't allow the water to run out when you turn the pump off. And there'll be a better strainer eventually on here, but this is what they gave me at the place I bought it from. I won't say who they are. Anyway, so the check valve will hold the water in there. You put it on the end of your line, right above your suction. Usually you have a strainer like this. This is the one that came with the kit, but it's got a hose barb, so you're supposed to try and force that on. So I'm actually going to make it so I can have a quick release. I'll just get a short piece of hose to go on there and then put a cam lock fitting so I can take it off, clean it, and all that. And so basically what we would do is with our suction hoses, we always had it sort of pre-fitted, like we always had our strainer pre-fitted on there and the check valve, and you put that on the pump and you would shake it back and forth as if you're jerking it off kind of thing, or giving it a wank, and that would eventually fill the line. If that was a bit of a job, normally what you could do is you could take this part off here, you could take this right off, and then you could fill this up with water from a bucket or something like that. And then, you would check your oil. In our case, our pumps are 2-stroke, so the oil was mixed with the gas, so you didn't have to check it. And so you'd wiggle that line, the casing would fill up with water, and then you could switch on your fuel, and then start it. And that's basically how you would get the pump to pump water. Now, these are not a trash pump. The water has to be relatively clean, so you want to have a decent strainer. Something like this one I was just showing you. This isn't too bad, but sometimes you get some really shitty water, and I would actually recommend wrapping it in bug screen, or even getting a bigger one, and or even making your own and using bug screen like you would use on a window, but something of a tougher variety. And then you can keep all that crap out of the pump. Sometimes I show you to put it in a bucket or something like that, as if that's gonna, well, that would help keep the dirt out, but sometimes floating debris gets in there anyways. So on mine here, because it's a 1-inch, and my puddles are usually fairly shallow, but I get a lot of water still, and so then you start sucking air right away. And like, I've got an electric pump that works pretty good, but sometimes you need something where you can't go with an extension cord, or it's raining or something like that. So you go with a gas pump, because you're not going to electrocute yourself unless you like lick the spark plug or something. And anyway, this is nice and mobile, and I'm also going to use it with my water barrel rain harvesting system, whatever they call that. And you know, I put in a quick release like on the suction. This actually has a quick release. Right now I've got a garden hose fitting on here because I've got 3/4 inch garden hose that I can use. So, and there's a reducer bushing that goes from 1 inch to 3/4, and then this is NPT thread that threads into there, and then this is your standard garden hose thread. So you could even put 1/2 inch garden hose on here. You might make the pump work harder, but that's how it works. So, yeah. So right now all I've got to do is I've got to go get some motor oil for this thing because all I have is 10W30, and I'm sure that would work okay, but it says 1540 on there, and in case the warranty is something craps, they can't void the warranty on me. But this is one of these Princess Auto ones. I heard these are actually like a Honda knockoff. I paid a little over $200 for it, so I'm hoping it works pretty good. It's got a low oil shutdown sort of deal on it. I might also do a little video this year, maybe next year. I'll see what happens because my wife and I are going to move next year. And anyways, I want to make a bit of an ATV sort of firefighting rig. And I've seen lots of people do it, and I kind of want to show a good way of doing it, a proper way. And what I would do is I'm going to remove, I've kind of got this set up so I can remove it. Kind of a quick attach deal, but not quite so quick. And then I would put a 25-gallon sprayer tank on it, and somehow I'm going to fit that pump on there. I've seen a couple of different setups. I could actually post pictures on this video of one of the setups I came across 2 years ago. And they were using a 2-stroke pump, and that's a little bit lighter, and you don't have to worry about the low oil shutdown turning off the motor. But in this case, I might rewire it so it doesn't. And anyway, so I will replace that with a 25-gallon tank, kind of make it a quick release deal, and then put the pump on it, and then have a, I don't know, 10-foot length of garden hose sort of thing, and a little bracket to carry the suction hose so that I can set it up so I can draft from a stream, or I could even just use it stationary with the pump with the end in a stream or a little lake, pond, whatever you got, pool. And we use them for fighting grass fires in these areas around here, and they actually work really, really awesome. So that's going to be something in the books sort of thing. Or I might even set it up so I can put a tank in the back of my little pickup truck, like my little Chevy Colorado, because you'll get into smaller places with that than you will with a big 3/4 ton or a 1 ton. So yeah, I don't know, I've got a couple of different ideas for it, so we'll see what goes on. Kind of messy in here, but I've been doing lots of tinkering. Not too much work going on because it's the thaw right now, so it's too muddy and all the spring road restrictions are on. So this is my other pump. I've got it set up with a little pill switch kind of deal so that when the bucket fills up, it switches on. Only thing is the ground is frozen right now, and it's hard to dig a little pit for it to sit in, so I used it quite a bit yesterday, but I got to get that hole dug down deeper, because usually these little electric pumps, you got to have water around them to keep the motor cool. Otherwise they overheat and then your motor's screwed. And this is the big bastard I was using off and on last year. It's an old Monarch. My dad was using it for placer mining in the early 70s. It's only got a few hours on it, so it starts like new when you put some fresh gas in it. It's a little setup I kind of made for it. It's a little goofy, and I'm not sure how good it is for the pump, for the mechanical seal and all that. But I made so I could run a 3/4 inch hose off of it, or I'll put a Y and I could put 2 of them, because otherwise it would start sucking air right away. And I had some pipe and fittings lying around and some stuff I picked up at Princess Auto and Even Spray, and so I could shut down this big ball valve here. Don't want to knock it off here, but I can shut that down and then just run this little fitting off of it. And it works. It hasn't packed it in or anything. Plus, I can run a sprinkler off it. I was using it with my rain tank. I have a 270-gallon rain tank that's buried in snow right now, and it works pretty good. Or I can just go with straight 2-inch, and I also have a reducer to go to 1.5 inch, so I could even power a fire hose off of it. And I did once too. My father-in-law's combine caught fire, and the fire department there wasn't too eager about putting it right out, and it was stinking up the whole yard. And so I went and hooked this thing up into the dugout, and My wife's uncle had a whole bunch of old fire hose from the city fire department that he uses for watering and a bunch of other stuff, farm stuff. Inch and a half fire hose. I put out, I think, 300 or 400 feet of hose to get up to the combine, and then I just pumped water on it for like a good hour, and I got it to stop smoldering and stinking up the yard. If you ever smelled a vehicle that caught fire before, it fucking reeks. So yeah, this was new, and I think my dad said 1972, 1973, 3 horsepower Briggs and Stratton with a Monarch cast iron pump. It is heavy. I hate lugging this thing around. I always smack myself in the shins or the knees with it, but yeah, she runs really well. We put new oil in it, fresh gasoline, a suction hose, and it fucking started pumping. I couldn't believe it after sitting for probably 25, 30 years. So. And here's something you don't see very much anymore. Made in Canada. So, yeah. Anyways, there's a video for you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.